The Highland Hills tower the skies, but the shadows they cast draw the spirits near. After all,
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to, well, Halloween. Welcome and happy Halloween to everybody tonight. We are joined tonight by some amazing people. We have, obviously, my co-host, Drew, sitting there next to me. We have Lisa Fry, Psychic Medium Belows, but we're also joined by Papa Joe and Uncle Tim. And honestly, I've been looking really forward to meeting you guys. You know, I talk to you all the time on Mike the Naked Bigfoot's channel and stuff like that. And I do watch your stuff, and it's a really good channel you've got. So you'll remember and share it in the chat there, guys, so as everybody can give a wee subscribe. But guys, obviously, we tonight we want to discuss for the first half hour is Mike, the Naked Bigfoot, and it's his passing. Sadly, that's him, and it's a wee kind of my throat's kind of hanging up here a wee bit. But that's 1 year to today he has been passed. You know. And
bless his heart.
It's just it feels weird. It feels weird. I was actually watching some of his videos through the week, and I was watching the one that the night he spoke to a snake. You remember that episode? The night he spoke to a snake. And he was talking about he was invited to this church, and it was the snake. It was like the snake kind of healers kind of things, and oh my god. He had such an amazing way telling a story.
Yeah.
Honestly, he could have had a career and on radio telling spooky stories because he was just so damn good at it. And I would just like to say it's Super Horror Show in the chat. It's good to see you, buddy. It's good to see you in there. It's a long time no see. But what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go to Papa Joe and Uncle Tim first, and I'm going to ask you your opinion on Mike, the Naked Bigfoot, boys.
Well, thank you. I mean, we're so pleased to be on here.
Honored to be here.
Yeah. So we have to go back to when COVID did the lockdown, because up until that point, our channel was just doing pre-recorded things, you know, but we decided during lockdown we'd try to go live, and we had connected with a bunch of people on Twitter, and Mike was one of those. And you know, of course, you see the name Mike the Naked Bigfoot as a handle, it's pretty intriguing anyway, you know. And so when we first went live, he would pop into our chat all the time, and one time we finally got him to call in, and we wanted to know how he got his name, and you know, and he shared his story of the Bigfoot that's on his farm. Of course, he never did call it Bigfoot. It's those who walk behind the stones or something like that. Yes. I think is how he referred to him. And you know, he just blew our minds from the get-go. And a funny thing is, my daughter was one of our contributors on our show, and she used to make gnomes for the different people and stories we would have on the show. And you can see this, she made a Mike the Naked Bigfoot gnome. One of a kind. And so this is a prized possession of mine now.
Wow. I mean, he was an amazing guy.
Yeah.
Papa Joe. He really was. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, you know, as we did our weekly shows, he would pop in all the time, and at that time all we had was the availability for people to call into the show. We didn't have StreamYard yet, where we could you know, send him a link and have him pop in. That wasn't until later, but then we had him do other shows with us once. I mean, once he talked about his spirit guide, we had to do a show on that, and then course, I think one of our biggest shows that our most watched shows we did was the one where he actually let out about his voodoo, workings, and then
we would let him on, and it was sad because we wanted to just have him continue
we
be
couldn't
on,
get
and
enough.
we couldn't get enough of it. He told us about the apple tree, and he told us about his
that's the story that got me hooked.
Oh, such a great story. Oh my God. And then he told us about his relics and all the things he's been gifted with, and about when he was in voodoo and the gifts he had been given. And oh my God, it's just incredible. He was an incredible man. I miss him so much.
I know. And I'm thinking about, he had that unique smile, and everybody knows what I'm going to mention here. He had that unique kind of smile that he had. Even his son mentions it, Pete. And his smile could mean different things. It could mean different things to the different people. But do you know what used to happen with us, and it always happened with like Bald and Bonkers, because this is going out in Bald and Bonkers too, was technical problems with him. Did you ever have the technical problems?
All the time.
All the time. And
all the time.
We experienced that a lot too.
Yeah.
So
it was weird because sometimes his mic would go funny and it would sound like a Cylon. I'm serious. It would sound like a Cylon, and I would like, Mike, there's something wrong, and he'd be like, "Give me a minute. I need to go to the special room." So he would get up and he would walk it out, and he would go into this room where he had it all like shielded.
His own Faraday box.
I was just saying Faraday box. I think it must have just been the sheer amount of spirits that was running about him.
No, I don't doubt. And I always noticed that it seemed to happen when he brought up his spirit guide, when he talked about his little no-eyed girl, is when sound would all of a sudden go weird. And I think on one of our episodes we did, and it was the spirit guide episode we did, I swear you can hear when his mic went weird, that you can hear another voice in there talking.
We had more technical problems with him when he was talking about that stuff than, Joey. I mean, he's a genius. He's
I wouldn't go that far.
MIT or whatever. I mean, we had technical problems that we have never been able to reproduce or experience again. It was just amazing. But love him, and every time I hear his name, I smile.
Yeah, it was weird because me and Dakota, we did a live on Bald and Bonkers. I think it was about a week after his passing, right? And we started talking about him. And all of a sudden, Dakota's mic started buzzing, right? And every time he mentioned Mike, it started to buzz. But if he talked about anything else, it was fine. And it was the most strangest thing. And I actually thought to myself, well, obviously microphone, mic. I'm wondering if that was maybe him just maybe leaving a wee kind of message for this.
He may have just done that now.
Did you just hear that?
Yes.
Did you guys just hear that?
There. I don't know what
something just changed in the volume. So if we can just real quick, if Joey could just tell you a quick story before we leave. We did a show and I had a medium on and he read for Pete. And right after he read for Pete, I'll let Joey tell you this story real quick.
Yeah, I did share that.
No, take your time.
So he pulled a card for Pete, and all of a sudden Pete was quiet for the rest of the show. And we thought, oh, that must have chased him away. I don't know. So then Pete sends me a message the next day and he says, the weirdest thing happened when he pulled the card. Also, we heard music coming from Dad's room where he passed away. And so we went in, which we normally don't do. But his phone was still on the bed where he left it. And it was playing Dad's favorite song on his phone.
Oh my God.
And, it was like, okay. when I read Pete's message, I kind of lost it. I've lost it a few times reading things that that Mike's allowed us to hear.
Hear that?
Did Pete I heard that again there. There was something.
I did unmute.
That's weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think.
Did Pete tell you the story about the cat?
No.
Did you see obviously in the thumbnail of this, I've got Mike the Naked Bigfoot, but I've got a cat with him. Did Pete not tell you the story about that cat? Because it's very mystical. When he came home from the hospital, really quickly, he came home from the hospital. He was sitting under the tree. You know how he did the little video before he says he's got to tell a story to everybody. Well, a cat turned up on the property. MD that went near it hissed and wouldn't go near them, right? And it went up to Mike and sat in his lap.
Yeah.
The cat.
Mike went up the stairs for the last time, obviously. Got into his bed. Cat went up the stairs. Followed him into his room. Lay at the bottom of his bed. Stayed with him till he passed away. The cat, in the morning, when they went to get, my throat's going kind of funny with this story, but they opened the door, the cat went out, went into the woods, and it was never seen again.
Oh, wow.
I know that. I don't know why
I don't know how you would know that, because
I think Pete.
Yeah.
I think it was a conversation we had with Pete that was very incredible.
Yeah, I mean, the last real conversations that I got to have with Mike were when he was doing his show, and the funny thing about him doing his show was we were just starting our 4th season on The Truth About Beer, and and Mike had popped on, and we said, hey, for this year, we need to come up with our own unique new horror figure, because you've got your Freddy Kruegers and all them, but we need to come up with something new, to present, because we had some animators that were part of our little group, and they do animation shows and stuff, and we were wanting to put something together, because Mike was a contributor on their show as well. As Super Horror Show.
That's right, it was.
And so he mentioned, he goes, what about Skinner Man? You ever heard of Skinner Man?
Oh.
And we said, no, but that sounds awesome. You need to tell us about Skinner Man. And he said, okay, I'm gonna do a video on it. And he did his first video. It was in 4 parts, I think, 4 or 5 parts for Skinner Man, and that's pretty much what launched him doing a weekly show. Was he started with Skinner Man? So I'm so thankful that he did that.
That story's that story about the Skinner Man. When I first met him, oh good God, it was about 3.5 years ago. When I first met him, he told me the story. He says, listen, I'm going to send you a link. And he sent me a link, and it was the Skinner Man story. And
right?
Oh my God. It's the way he tells you. It's just you get like drawn into this. And you can actually feel yourself there, and how he meets the old woman, and she tells him the tale about this thing that they get to go after people that have done terrible things and that, and you're actually sitting there. Then he brings his little girl into it, because he brings the little girl into it, and it's honestly, Mike was an amazing person. He really was. That's what got me into that Ghost Squad Scotland YouTube channel, was Mike. I dedicated that channel to him. Yeah.
Man,
very cool.
He's going to be. As I said to his son Pete the other day, he says he's gone, but he'll never be forgotten.
Never.
Well, came I mean, and talking like this about him, came means keeping him alive, and everybody came. I mean,
yeah, and we're gonna do that.
It's weird. I don't know. Yeah, Ken, it's weird. I don't know what it is now, but it's freezing round about me. Lisa, have I got any energies round about me or anything like that?
About just talking about him?
Yeah, have I got any like energies round about me now? Because I've got like oil central heating, and my room is like a nuclear reactor.
Well,
it's like freezing in here. It's like absolute. I'm not joking you. It's like one bit here's like warm, and the next bit's I can put my hand here, and it's like freezing. It's as if there's somebody standing right next to me.
At all if he was like, you know, hanging around. You're talking about him. You're doing a show about him.
Yeah.
You know, so that would totally make sense. You know, but
yeah, he knows.
Yeah, and I think he would be kind of super interested. Like, hey, look. You know, look here, I am being talked about.
Yeah,
yeah.
He hears us.
It was. Do you know something?
It just makes
something
me smile.
Do you know something? And Drew will probably agree with me here that you know the best thing I ever seen with the best time I ever seen with Mike was the time me and Dakota introduced him to Dave Schrader. Can you remember that episode?
Oh, definitely.
My God. He came into live after the live, he came in and he was like, and it was, yes, Mr. Schrader. Yeah, Ken, honestly, I seen him on that guy's Dave Schrader's show and he never swore once.
No, he did great.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah. No, I remember him telling me, you know, that he was going to be on that. And he was so excited because he was such a big fan of the Hosier Files. And I have to admit, I did cry during that interview with Dave Schrader. That was a tough
I will
one
say
for
that
me.
they knew that, so did I, because obviously that's what led to his ailments.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what led to. I mean, if he'd never done that, he could probably still be with us today.
Yeah.
And,
awesome.
But
I have put it in the chat, guys.
What's that?
The link to the video, Mike's channel, and the link to the Dave Schrader interview.
Thank you so much for letting us share those memories.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
Oh no, it's absolutely fine, and thank you for coming on, both of you, because you were really good friends. Because I used to talk to Mike all the time, and he used to tell me about you guys. He used to say, "I love being on their show. I loved being on your show." He honestly did tell me that a few times, and he actually told me a few times because we used after shows and stuff, we would just sit and talk for like maybe an hour. We'd just sit and talk about the world, and he would actually talk about his son Pete, and he would say, I don't know if I ever told Pete this, but Pete, if you're watching this, he used to say about you how proud he was about you. He used to say about Pete being so proud about him, starting his own business and stuff.
Oh, and I even see Mike Super Horror Show's in the chat. All right.
Yeah, Super Horror's in there. It's good to see you, Super Horror. You know. So, Drew, would you like to tell us a wee bit about?
Yeah, when I first met Mike, I didn't really like him, and he knew that because I told him the story about when I first met him on Parachills, and he was a bit of a boy with his mouth, and I didn't like the way he was talking. And when I did get the pleasure of speaking to Mike, I did say that to him, that at first I didn't take to him, and he just laughed. He knew that he was one of those characters, let's say, that did take a bit of getting used to. But the minute that I watched his channel and I heard him tell the story about the tree, I really was hooked. It was anytime I could see him on Bold and Bonkers, anytime I could see him live. And it did take about 3 months to get the interview with him because he was not very well, but he did do the interview. But he had a great impact on me. I was very sad when he first passed last year. But slowly, as the years went on, I've kind of came to terms with it. And then Chris and I done an investigation up at our old cemetery. And we do believe Mike was with us, don't we, Chris? We actually used to see him.
It was... I'll tell you what was weird about it, right? Mike always used to tell me about honeysuckle, right? And every time I smell honeysuckle, ever since Mike's passing, I think about Mike. Mike, you know how he told the stories about the mountain honeysuckle and stuff?
Yes.
And we went to an abandoned mansion. You can look it up. It's on my channel, The Abandoned Mansion. We went to this abandoned mansion near me. And me and Drew were walking up. Now, there was no flowers. There was trees. nowhere run about. There was no honeysuckle anywhere. I checked. There was none. And I was walking up, and Jana says to do it, I says, Ken, I bet you Mike's ways. And just when we said that, there was a really strong smell of honeysuckle. And it was so strong. And it was lingering strong. It followed us against the wind, kind of strong. But in the way back down the road, couldn't smell it. Couldn't smell it at all. Don't know where it came from. I think he was there with us. I really do think he was there with us.
He was with us that day in the cemetery as well. The day we were at the Witches Cemetery, we called it. I think you did feel, or I think you sensed him more than saw him between the trees, and then it seemed to went weird after that.
For a split second, the graveyard was like for the 12th century kind of place, right? It was there was people had been doing like dark magic in there and stuff like that. You can tell people had been doing like rituals and stuff there, and we were there just wandering about, and I am 100% sure for a split millisecond I could see Mike looking at me from behind a gravestone, and I still kind of get that vision out in my head.
Yeah, it did turn weird after that as well, and we kind of knew we were to leave, so we think it was maybe Mike giving us the warning just to go.
Yeah.
It's a strange one.
We left it to that. We left it to that. He's there, guys. Papa, Tim. He's a voting. Can he hear you?
I got unmute. There we
go. Yeah. He's got a great impact on our community as a whole. All the chat knew him and things. It wasn't just the hosts of the shows. All the chat knew him.
It's this famous. It's the infamous. That's a story for another time.
Yeah.
Remember that in the chat?
Oh yeah.
I will say this. What was your favorite, before I let you go, what was your favourite episode they ever did? I'll let you go first, guys.
When he was out in the woods and
his Bigfoot story?
His Bigfoot story, my God, yeah. He was petrified. I mean, that was like the scariest time of his whole life, he said. And it was chasing him and following him, and he like
I've got way too many.
He was throwing things at him, and he was afraid he wasn't going to make it back to his house. And when he thought he was going to die, he was really, really petrified. That was probably, and the apple tree. And I love the apple tree.
Yeah.
His mom telling the stories, don't pick the apples. So
there's so many stories, but I think probably my favorite is when he met Father Thomas, I think.
Oh my God, yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, that
oh man,
that changed his life.
Yeah. The one that did it for me, and I still used to. After that, I used to have wee jokes with him. I used to remember the episode he did, and I think the entire chat was up in arms. They were up. I think the entire chat was bent over backwards laughing that night, and I couldn't help myself, but I had to do it in the chat. Remember the episode he did sex and the paranormal? I need super horror, sex magics. There you go. And honestly, that I'll take that to my final days. That story, I've never laughed as much in my entire. Lisa, you would like that story. It was it's one of the maddest. It's one of the most maddest stories in the history of mankind. I mean, oh my God, it was funny. It was
actually
sex magic with goats. And I know it was sex and the paranormal, and I think it was one of his highest rated shows. Actually, I think he got the most views on it.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was the one.
He told me a quick story about how he peed himself one time when he was scared. I can't remember what it is. I'd have to go back and look at it, but that was great too. He had me on the floor.
I can't pass a Lowe's without thinking of Mike.
Well,
he spent many
honestly,
days. Always telling us he gets text from a stall there at a Lowe's.
Yeah, I must admit, his son's keeping his Twitter account going, and it's great, Pete. Honestly, thank you for keeping us, because as a lot of people use that as like a community now. We can all go there and we can all talk and stuff like that. But it's just that episode. I'll never get that out of my head. It's just I couldn't help myself on the night. I was like texting him, and he was like looking at the text, and he was trying to do the show at the same time. And I think it was just ridiculous, that show, you know. But Pete, if you're watching this, you'll need to start coming on the shows and taking after your father.
Oh,
You know.
yes.
Yeah.
Would
What's
love
that
to have
super
Pete.
horror show? I didn't know. I went to look back, and then they were all down. I'm just reading super horror there. I didn't know to look back and all down, but a few of his videos playlists still up. Yeah. The one of the most heartwarming videos I seen was when he was coming home. You know, the live that he did when he was coming
Yes.
home, and all of his workers were
Yeah.
lined up.
Lined up. Yeah, that was very touching.
Yeah.
We
So,
would love
ladies
to
and
reach
gent-
out to Pete and have Pete,
Yeah.
you know, when he's ready. I'd love to have Pete and tell us some of the stories he has. I mean, that would just be amazing. We hope that happens.
Aye, Pete, if you're listening, please go
Yeah.
on Papa Joe and Uncle Tim's show. You need to go in there first, and then you can come in with mine last. You know,
No,
because I think that would be absolutely amazing. You know, and message me if he does come on your show, guys, because I would like.
oh,
I'll be
absolutely,
watching that.
absolutely,
Yeah, I'll be watching that. You know,
absolutely.
No, that happens. We'll send you a link for sure
you know,
to pop in with
exactly.
us, because
So, guys, I would like to say thank you for coming on. And now, guys, we're going to talk about Halloween. You know, the spooky time of the year. You know, the spookiness. And we've got a really good guest below us here. She's been awfully quiet, which is unusual. Lisa.
I'm just sitting here listening to you guys, remembering somebody that was, you know, an integral part of your online life
Yeah.
and regular life as well. It sounds so. It's nice to hear people remembered that way, and obviously. When we start to talk about, see, now you started it. When we start to talk about those that have passed, it's just like setting up the bat signal, and they go,
Yeah.
"Here we are. Let's do this. Let's talk. Let's have some fun." Thus,
Yeah.
the cold room or the technical difficulties that was obviously famous for. So that's
Or the visitations in the night. Because believe me, he's done it to a few people, Mike.
Yeah.
Has anybody here had any weird dreams or anything like that ever since Mike's passing?
there was. It wasn't actually a dream, but I'll tell you, one of his shows. I was down with shingles. It was an awful time, and I was watching a show, and he was talking to me and saying how awful that was, but then he did this pause and kind of looked away from his camera for a second, and at that second, all of a sudden I felt our brains connect for that 1 second, and it was like it's too hard to explain the feeling, but
I know the episode you were talking about, because I remember that episode you were in the chat and you were talking about what was wrong with you, because I remember talking to you in the chat, and he looked away just for a split. It was like maybe like 5 minutes. It was like 5 seconds. He looked away.
Yeah, it wasn't very long at all.
It's as if he went somewhere. It's as if he wasn't there for like 5 seconds, and then he looked back again. He must have.
Yeah, it was just a feeling of. It was like he was. It was almost like he was giving me a blessing of some sort of voodoo, healing.
It was a channel
thought, and it was just.
Yeah.
I still get chills just thinking about that. It was.
Yeah. It happened to me maybe about. It was a recurring dream I had about him, and he was standing at the bottom of my bed. It was always at 4 o'clock in the morning. Always at 4 o'clock in the morning. And it was just, again, this has got to sound grim, but like when you're in a casket, when you're lying dead in a casket, the look that you've got. And in the dream, I go up to him, and he just looks at me. He like goes boo, and looks at me and smiles, right? And it was like I know, and that would happen once a week, every week, without it. And there was one, but and then I was starting to think about it, and I was like, "Ken, something else." I wonder if I should tell Pete. So I told Pete. I messaged Pete. I was talking to him, and I told Pete everything that was happening. And he said, "Oh, that's interesting." So I said, "That never happened again. I never dreamt it again, whatsoever."
Oh,
Wow.
gave it away.
I didn't. Well, it was always on a Thursday night at 4 o'clock in the morning, which is weird because it was always that was the nights he did his show, and it was like a recurring dream, and he was just standing there, but it never happened again after that.
Wow.
I think he's ways off. I really do think he's ways off. And I don't think he's. I think he's going to haunt us for the rest of eternity. One night.
I hope so.
He'll be drinking all your beer the new Papa Joe.
Yeah. Well, we were hoping to get some of his moonshine recipes from him before he. Well, hopefully he's passed them on to Pete. You know, yeah.
Pete knows them. I think Pete does know them. And I think Pete. We should do it. We should do a special show on moonshine one night.
Moonshine all around.
Yeah, let's get it.
That's a thing you don't get in Scotland is moonshine. People don't make it, you know.
So he inspired me and Joey to make our own moonshine. So we've made our own moonshine. I have a bottle. He has a bottle. And we did this because Mike inspired us to do it. And it's like turpentine and it's flammable. And we just had a little bit of it. So
hopefully we don't go blind.
Radiator. Radiator.
See, that's something actually. What did you just call it out of curiosity? The naked Bigfoot or something like that?
Well, we haven't named it, but we did it in his memory because I said, dude, we have to do a road trip because I wanted to go up just to do his moonshine.
Yes.
And he had, I forget the one he said, Tim, there's one you have to try because he had many, but he said, I've got one for you. But it inspired us to make moonshine. So thank you, Pete. Mike. Thank you, Mike.
There's Super Horror Show saying something I've actually asked Pete about this. He wants the book that Mike was writing. And Pete told me that it was up to his mum. So I would just Super Horror, I would just wait and give it time. If it takes the next 10 years, just give it 10 years. They'll bring it out when they're ready to bring it out. And it's the same with the video that he was going to release. Just give it time to when Pete can do it, because I think it's heartbreaking. I think for Pete and I think he's watching this now. Actually, I've got a feeling he's watching this now. And Pete, honestly, man, we're all here for you. You know.
Did Mike not tell us about the cat in the little video he did? I'm wondering.
I don't know. It's an unusual looking cat. Mm-hmm. It's on the thumbnail. This picture, obviously, and it's as if it's got like a third eye. It's weird. It really is weird.
There's a picture of the cat?
Yeah, I would need to go and actually. I'll send it to you. Actually, Pete sent it to me through.
Yeah, definitely looks as if it's got a third eye. That's weird.
It's definitely weird. It's try to find the video. It is a really weird one. I'll show you there.
I'm sure he told us about that. Do you know that in that video he done for us all?
See this? I don't know if you can see the cat. Right there's the cat there. See it? Look how it's got the kind of like third eye.
Weird,
doesn't it?
That's not Gozer?
No.
That's a different cat. I saw that picture once. I thought that was him and Gozer. I didn't know that was a different cat.
I'll save that. I'll send you that picture.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll send you that. Right, I'll send you that in a wee while. But that's the cat that turned up, and it wouldn't go near anybody. in the farm. Nobody, but only
Just
Mike.
him.
Yeah, I think it was like a messenger or something. I think it was something.
Sure.
It was there to help him.
Move on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spirit guide.
And
Yeah.
now I
Yeah.
think about it, I do kind of remember him talking about a cat that followed him around when he was on the tractor. Wasn't there a cat that he stopped and
There
said
was
there was
one.
a cat up
Sure,
there?
you spoke about a cat before, yeah. Definitely.
That's right. That's interesting. That I never knew that. It's one of these mysteries that we're never going to know until it's our time, you know.
Yeah.
And can you imagine when it comes your time, you'll be there, you'll be crossing over the pearly gates, and there standing in front of you is Mike, the naked
With
waiting
his
for
cat.
moonshine, waiting for with his cat, and waiting for his holding a glass of your moonshine.
I hope
You know,
so.
It's
I
like,
hope so.
I hope he finally got to pick an apple from that tree.
I will say that.
Said you wouldn't want to eat it though.
You can't eat it. No, they're ornament.
Did Pete tell you what happened the other day? Did Pete tell you what happened last month?
No.
One of the creatures went onto the property and killed the goats and put them all dead below the tree.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
He
And
went
it
out there
wasn't
one
just one
time
goat,
and
it was
all
four of
the
them.
apples were gone.
Yeah, and all the apples, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they left all the dead goats under the tree.
Yes.
Lisa's
yes.
sitting there thinking, what?
But
have
that
I
was
got
just a
to
month
say?
ago, though. You said.
Skinwalker or what?
It's
Maybe the entities that were supposed to get the apples didn't get them, and it was something else this year, so they weren't happy.
see, I'm wondering if it's something because Mike's passing. I'm wondering if they're maybe laying down a new kind of rule kind of thing, because obviously Pete's taking over the farm now, because he's the man. He's the man of the house now. He's the, maybe he has to do something. I don't know. Maybe he has to do like some ritual or something, because I know that Pete is a voodoo priest like his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if it's So I don't know.
It's
if it has
time
to
for
do-
a Pete show.
Yeah, we got
Has-
Let's make that happen.
Pete, come on, Pete.
The Bigfoot
Pete.
that wears
Come on.
clothes.
You can even try their moonshine. You can drink a bottle of it on air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
It's
haven't
good.
dared do even a full shot of this stuff yet.
No, we've only
had sips of it.
we
and
had
it's
sips
like,
of it,
oh
and
my
I'm
God.
done. I mean,
At
I
least
don't
it's
wanna
not the
get-
colour of your lava lamp.
Oh,
That is a really nice lava lamp, by the way.
At least it's
nobody
not
has
that
lava
colour.
lamps anymore.
They were very
That's-
70s, weren't they?
I've got
Yeah.
one somewhere, but
I'm
it's
kind
not
of a
long.
hippie.
I'm an 80s kid. I was born in the 80s. I was born in 1981. I'm, 80s.
72.
You're a baby.
You're
I'm a little
baby.
baby.
Still a baby.
I'm
Very-
a little baby.
Yes. A little baby.
I know.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know.
You're
I know.
so
But
cute, though.
Yeah, the
I
Mike
know.
the Naked Pete show. Yeah, horror.
the Mike the Naked Pete show. Oh my God, that's just crazy. It's honestly, if you're watching
come in,
this, Pete,
Phoenix.
man, just reach out to Papa Joe
Iron.
or Uncle Tim or anything like that, or me or whatever, if you want to come on. But honestly, I would like to see you on their show first, because you were the first ones to have Mike,
Yeah.
and
we just need him to get out there. He needs to come forward, and I think we can talk him into that.
I think it's the Hound of
Oh.
the Baskervilles.
I know. Release the hounds.
Release the hounds. It's Mike. He's coming.
It's chasing the cat.
could you guys pop your link in the chat there? Out of curiosity.
I need to
Let's
copy
see.
that. Let me
Post
see
it
if
in
I
the chat
can.
there, guys. Funny. I've got that
There
many
we
folk I'm subscribed to now. There's like a big list. It's like never ending.
I tried to share the links, but it wouldn't let them be seen.
Really? I'll need to try.
Yeah, Mystical had to share the link, Mike.
I had to
on
reset
YouTube.
YouTube because YouTube was
Yeah.
acting weird.
I'm going to
Usually-
put in a couple of links if that's okay, because
I put
Two
all your
and I-
links in, guys.
yeah, I
Joey-
mean, I'm going to put in our Truths About Beer link, because that's where you can find.
Joey and I about a month ago were like, dude, for Halloween we got to do a Mike tribute, and we're lazy and we got stuff going on, but I'm so glad you did this. But we want to do several shows where we show clips of his videos and everything, and talk about what we're going to do that a few times. We're going to go live every Tuesday, I think, from now on. And we're going to bring a couple of episodes of Mike in there and talk about that. So
that'd be amazing.
That'd be good. That would be.
Yeah.
I just posted links in there. Please, everybody, please give them a big subscribe. How many subscribers have you got now, out of curiosity? We'll get you up to 1,000 if you're near there.
10.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Now, truth about beer, we're at 681.
We'll get you to 1,000.
Kind of sitting dormant for a bit. And then our new channel, which I got to get back to the right thing. So here's our. Well, let me put a link in, or do I need to send it to Drew on a private?
No, you could send it.
Our new channel is out there with Papa Joey and Uncle Tim, and we talk about everything out there. And we'll send you a little intro, to show what it's all about and everything. So we're really excited about it.
What I'll do is after this video uploads tonight, I will be putting Lisa's channel, I'll be putting Drew's channel, put your guys' channels all below. So it's everybody. But I will be doing is I'm not putting any monetization on this video, so it's got to be totally advert free on this video in memory of Mike, so as people can come in and watch it as much as they want, and there's no adverts whatsoever. So just a thing I want to do, So Lisa, I take it this is a busy time of year for you. Halloween's Eve. I bet you get a lot of people coming to you asking you to contact their loved ones and stuff like that.
Yeah, quite a bit. And I've not been doing a lot of readings. Matter of fact, I haven't been online a whole lot because it is a busy time of year. And now that with the shop, we just have been slammed from the beginning into the end. And I do have an incredible experience. I do want to tell you, I'm going to send you a video about while I was in Texas last week, we had a huge energy disturbance. We went scattered my father's ashes throughout Texas. And so we were all there for a week. And we were doing a video, and the energetic wave that went through our video was incredible. So I'm going to have to send it to you. But so we've been busy. We've been super busy, and but having a great time doing all the stuff we do.
Guys, you need to check out Lisa Fry's crystal shop. It's absolutely fascinating. I couldn't help but comment the other day there. You were, what was it? It was crystal balls or something like that you were putting up. I couldn't resist that. I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. It's the split person in there.
Because we've got balls of the crystal variety. I'm like, well, yeah, okay. Just do it.
It's that Ouija board thing that you've made, that new spirit board.
The spirit board, not a Ouija board. It's the spirit board. We had a huge event, and we had 2 of them going at the same time, and then we had table tipping going at the same time. It was a bad house, but it's going really well. I have to sit down and have the time to make more. I just haven't.
Can I ask, Lisa, should you give some lucky few people tonight? Are we reading? Can I pick some people out the chat, or can I pick some people at all?
Sure.
I would like to, honestly, for the first time on the show, and I used to talk to him in the chat quite a lot, I would love it if you could give Papa Joe a reading, if that's okay.
Okay. No problem. First of all, I want to start off with I've really just enjoyed sitting here listening to talk about Mike, you guys. It's really nice when there's so many people emotionally invested in a person. And I only talked to him a couple times in chat. So that you were sitting, I was so quiet. It's because I'm just enjoying listening to you guys enjoy your memories. Right. And I know he had some form of cancer, but I don't know how he passed really. But I want to talk, and as you're asking about for Papa Joey to get a reading, I want to talk about somebody that's passed away that, and normally I work in memories. So I don't try to go, somebody was 5'10" and they wore a purple hat and blah, blah, blah. I try to bring in the emotion and the memory that is going to create a spark of, I remember that moment. Okay. So for Papa Joe, I want to talk about somebody that is on the other side, that they had a lot of stomach issues. I know that they had reflux, and I feel this burning in my stomach. And I want to talk more, but I'm not able to talk as much as I want to. And I also wonder if this person might have been undergoing some testing, or if they had been intubated at one point where they were having a hard time breathing. And I feel like this is like a male, but I don't think this is Mike. I think this is somebody else that they also give me a lack of thought. So they're also giving me like some, I don't want to call it senility as much as I want to call it dementia, or they feel like they couldn't remember where they put something, and they put it someplace specific, and that might have been their MO. I put it this place and I know that that's where it is, and then it's gone, kind of thing. But I feel like they had a lot of moments where they misplaced things. And there's a smell associated with this person as well. So when I get a smell, it is something, because smell is one of those really strong energies that triggers a memory. So if you actually catch a mystery smell, this might even be that person. Like something would have reminded you of this particular person. And I see a tractor, and I don't know why I see a tractor, but I see a tractor. I don't know if it's a toy. I just see it like a John Deere green kind of thing. Does this make any sense to you at all? And if it doesn't, it's okay. I don't live my life according to that.
Yeah, I would say part of it.
Okay.
My
Okay.
son-in-law.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything. Nothing.
No, my son-in-law passed 2 years ago from pancreatic cancer.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I actually get chills on that, which I don't usually get a whole lot of chills. So is there a smell associated to him? Like, did he have something he ate? Or if you were to sit down to dinner, you would have known that that's what he would have liked? Or
he did a mean barbecue. So
okay. So if you catch a phantom smell like that, I need you to know that's a trigger. Okay, that's hey, I'm here. I need to know you to know that I'm around. And there's like 3 marks on the wall, like 1, 2, 3. And it's like he's going, I've done these things. And then he puts a cross through it, like, you would keep track of things. Mm-hmm. You say, okay, I've gotten those 3 things done, and now it's ready to go. I'm ready to go do some other things. So there's 3 things that were super important to him. I don't know what he wants to say about that, but he's just like 1, 2, and 3, and I got him. I level achieved. I moved forward on that. And I don't know who likes the sunflowers, but there's some sunflowers. I don't know if there's a piece of artwork or fabric or something that somebody has that has sunflowers on it, but he wants to point that out. And he says, that was like a wonderful day. So it would commemorate something that he might have. And you said this could be your son-in-law, correct?
That's the closest.
Okay.
that I can come up with.
It's all right. And when I'm bringing mediumship across, I don't like, if it's somebody then it's great. If it's not, then we still go on, because there's always a message that comes through with mediumship. It's not about how many things we can say. We attribute it to something, but if we're hitting on stuff, then I keep trying to bring, but he keeps going back to the sunflower. This person keeps going back to the sunflower, and they're like, I had a really, really great day. And there's something about a flower that had to do with it. And I don't know if he gave it to somebody, or if they drove by sunflowers and they were like, this is the most perfect day. It's just beautiful, calm and peaceful.
It very well could be. See, he loved being up in the mountains, which I never, one of the last things that we were trying to accomplish before he died was to take him. Sorry, it's getting me emotional.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
How I know. Anyway, he loved going up to Flagstaff, and we were wanting to do a family thing, you know.
Flagstaff,
we never.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Because
we're both of we're from Arizona originally. So.
Okay. Because I see really windy roads, like switchback roads.
Yeah, that would be it.
I've been to Flagstaff, but Flagstaff's right on Old 66, right? And there's no zigzaggy there.
Yes.
Did you guys do a road trip with zigzag switchbacks?
Well, we'd usually take 17 all the way up, but,
Okay.
but yeah, once you get up there, there's all kinds of places you can zigzag.
Hey, I'm from Ohio. I like my roads flat and straight. Okay. I don't like mountains. So when I see zigzags like that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's high.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do we have? Did he experience frequent headaches? Was he getting headaches? He might not have told you. I mean,
yeah, not
honestly,
that I had heard. Yeah. He and my daughter, they didn't share a lot other than we knew he was sick. He was really into crystals, and he had quite a crystal collection.
Do you know if he was into sacred geometry? I know that's such an odd question. You probably don't know the answer to, but you know, the first thing I do is I see sacred geometry. I see Archangel Metatron. I see spirit guide. And I see a really high vibration. I would not be surprised if you didn't just be casually doing something and it pops into your brain. And then there's some validation that for you to look for with sacred geometry, flower of life, any of the platonic solids, the circles, the triangles, you know, the octahedrons, any of that. So that's going to be some of his validation to say, yeah, I'm right here. I'm right here. And he wants you to know that things are complete. Like everything comes full circle. And I feel like he met somebody when he passed over. Like, of course we all do. That's such a blanket statement. But it was like, you would have known this person, or you would have expected him to meet this person on the other side. And it was like, he was shaking someone's hand. And so I'm led to believe it was a male that he would have had a wonderful reunion with when he passed over. So I don't know who that is, but they just
being his own father who passed before him. But
okay, yeah. So it's all good, full circle.
What?
Trying to think.
That's good.
And do you have a project you're working on that? Obviously, you have a project you're working on. You're probably not ever done working on anything, right? But I think that you're a pinpoint person. I think you chase things down the rabbit hole, and that you have a new rabbit hole coming, and it's going to be a spark of just know he's walking right next to you doing this. Like this is his jam. He would be really happy to do some of the stuff you're doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he would with this one.
Yeah, awesome.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Hopefully that's helpful.
Thank you.
Ken, you're going to think this is mad, but when that popped into my head to ask that question, there was somebody kept saying to me, "Pick Papa Joe, pick Papa Joe, pick," and it kept saying that to me. That's why I picked you, Papa Joe. I don't know where it came from. It was weird. It was as if there was somebody standing next to me.
One last thing. Do you ever feel like you're having a conversation with him, like he's still there? In your head. Not out loud because people are crazy. Okay.
Well, I think I get a lot of answers through my daughter. But she's super, super spiritual and into signs and all kinds of things, because she's always looking for signs from him. She's she's engaged again, you know, and
it's a good thing.
She's been wanting validation from her, you know, her deceased husband. He
as soon
approves,
as you
and
mentioned engaged, I got some serious chills. It's a good thing. It's a wonderful thing, and it's good. Please give her validation. Please give her validation in the form of this. This is a wonderful thing. This is a wonderful thing for her. And so, but I need you to know that he talks to you a lot. He talks to you a lot. He's really close to you on Soul Circle, by the way. So when it comes to you've played, and I'm sorry, because it's probably going to make me cry, and I'm so sorry. You've played father-son roles with him before. And even though, and I want to cry, even though you weren't part of him being brought into this planet, at this time, you have been, and you've played mother-daughter, you've played father-son, mother-daughter, the whole, any way you can do it, you've done that. He's very comfortable with your energy and will continue to talk to you for the rest of your life. So.
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So, hope that helps.
Okay.
Moving on.
That's good.
Okay. Look at Chris. He's like,
I'm sitting here amazed. Actually, I'm just sitting here amazed because it was weird. Because when I first thought about Ken picking someday, it was like I don't know what it was. I felt like there was somebody standing next to me, and they was like, "Pick Papa Joe," and that's what they were like. They were like saying it. They were like whispering that in my ear. Did you get my drift? Kind of thing. And I that's why I just went for it. I just went, all right, give Papa Joe, like that. And then it just stopped. It just stopped as soon as I said that.
Wow.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Drew pick someone now. Come on, Drew.
Let me see who's all in chat. I'll look on YouTube for everybody in chat.
Aye. Or if Papa Joe wants to pick somebody for the chat, or if you want to take Tim, I'm easy going. Whatever you feel like, Lisa, pick somebody.
Let Lisa pick. Let her pick who she's drawn to.
I'm going to do Uncle Tim.
All right.
Morgan Hope agrees. Tim needs a reading. I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about some things you either know about or don't know about, which is, whatever. I want you to know if you realize you're clairvoyant. Okay.
Yes.
This is a good thing. You should be honing that. Are you using that skill? Because you're very interesting. You should be using that because you're clairdivergent. You have quite a few clairs, and you could put it together in a huge puzzle piece if you really wanted to. It can be a little scary to do, and I feel that there's a little seed of that there, and that's okay. I would much rather have somebody approach something like this with a little bit of caution, a little bit of like, how do I work this, instead of rushing in and being all flash in Hollywood and like, I talk to dead people. If you walk down the street, you don't know what I do for a living. Most people don't. Not that I don't talk about it, but I don't feel like the flash and bang is a big deal, and I don't think it would be a big deal for you as well. But you're very clairvoyant. You have a wonderful, wonderful imagination. And please know that your imagination is 99.99% of intuition. So you have a wonderful pool to fish from. You also, and this is a foregone thing here, you have quite a few extraterrestrial ties. You've been on this planet a very long time. And as I work with different energies, I'm told that there's 5 different human experiments under what we know as the Earth's crust right now. And you are 3 down, which means that you've been here before Göbekli Tepe, before ancient Egypt. We're talking back into the Lemurian times, actually pre-Lemuria, pre-Atlantis. So you've been here a very, very long time. And I think your heart knows that. And sometimes you get so tired with humanity because it is just so freaking exhausting. People, this is so bad, you guys. People are exhausting because the stupidity runs rampant. And you just want to look at people and go, oh my gosh, please stop. Please stop talking. Wow. Because it's also you're very empathic. So too much coming at you at one time, you kind of need to disengage and step back So turning off the radio is a really big deal for you, turning off the TV and disengaging from all of the things that are coming your way. I would also say that I believe, I'll skip on that one. Okay. I think that you've met some challenges in life, and you have, and that's once again a blanket statement. Any psychic can say it, any medium can say it, right? But I feel like you have moved forward successfully on them and learned each time. You know, not everybody does that. People will do the same stupid mistakes over and over again, and you kind of assess them. So you're working between that left brain and right brain very successfully. So you can pick things up spiritually, but then you're going to analyze them as well, which is great. I love when science is trying to catch up with psychics and intuition. It's fabulous. But I also want to talk. Am I going too long?
No, please.
No,
I want to talk about past life as well. I love working in the Akashic Halls. I
know a lot about my past life. So.
Okay, good. Because are you aware of the scientific bent to your past lives that you have? Some of them are very, very old. I want to talk about Greece. I want to talk about standing on the steps. I absolutely see you standing on the steps as a male figure, talking to people and having a political bent to what you're doing as well. So you were a leader of people, and you took people actually from and this is what your guys say, almost like a dark thought process, like an older process, to a more modern process when it comes to figuring things out. And there's some mathematics. It's so funny because they show me the Rubik's Cube for you. They're like, this is how math works. Any questions on that? Because
no, I can tell you, my father is a seer. He's clairvoyant, and he told me that at one time I was a right-hand man of ISIS, and I helped relay information from ISIS to the workers. And I had the responsibility of communicating to them to build things and engineer things. I was also a pilot in the Canadian Air Force, and I was called the
I remember you telling me that story.
I was the grave digger.
The grave digger.
Grave
right.
digger.
Yeah.
So, but I've had people tell me in my past, I know I've been here 5 times.
Oh God, you're 5,000
but
times.
I was in Egypt. I was in Canada. I was in prehistoric before Geotep. I've been told that, yeah. So
here's funny. We have the option, some of us do, as we're in life between lives, to pick and choose what time frames we want to go into. And I really feel like you stepped into a couple of the Paleolithic type of lives and went, they're just not evolved yet. I'm tired of that. I'm going to come back when they have a little bit more knowledge. So I think you skipped through a lot of that. I want to talk. I want to go back a little further, though. I would like to go extraterrestrial. You have Arcturian roots. You have that math comes from those Arcturian roots, where problem solving is like a puzzle, and it's kind of fun, you know. And so that's where that actual aspect comes from for you. But I want to go even further than that. Are you aware of the blue avians?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Blue avian absolutely pops up for you, which is that thought transfer kind of energy. Blue avians are absolutely fascinating, and they're light vehicles and all those things. But you actually, and they're one of the, matter of fact, to our knowledge at this time, the oldest extraterrestrial race that we are aware of is the blue avians. So they work just by transfer of thought. So they're trying to show that you have this wonderful balance of the intuitive side and the mathematical side, and you need to be balancing it in this lifetime as well to be meeting. And this is what your guides say: meeting your goals. Meeting your goals doesn't mean that once you hit your goals, poof, we're gone. It just means they move the goalpost and make the things harder. But that's okay because you like a challenge.
Yes.
So, questions on that? Sorry.
I was witness to one of the most credible sightings on an airplane. We saw a UFO, and it's all over YouTube and everything. And so I've seen the ships. I feel I've been abducted. I've really wanted to go through some regression hypnotherapy.
Well, you are part alien.
Well, I know I am. I mean, aliens is all I can think of. It's all I do. It's all I think of. I look up in the sky and I know they're watching me. I know they're with me. I believe they guide me, but it's the blue ones, and they're called not the Arcturians. I can't believe I forgot the name. The blue ones. They're tall and blue.
Blue ones.
Do they not come from Andromeda? Is that the ones that come from Andromeda? The Andromedan galaxy? The blue ones?
They're
You're talking about the
Arcturian,
Arcturians?
Arcturians.
Yeah.
They're tall, they're blue, and they're not from Orion's belt. They're from another area.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Really tall and blue.
Arcturians are shorter. Arcturians are not that tall.
I get mixed up.
They're beautiful. They have blonde hair. They're blue. They have.
Are they Nordics?
No, I'm not talking about the Nordics. I'm talking about the ones for Andromeda. You can the Andromedan galaxy. They're blue.
But I know they're blue. And I know I'm an alien, but I can't believe I just said that right.
Smurfonians.
Smurfonians.
Yeah.
No, I know. I mean, I know. And you're right. I am completely appalled with stupidity and common sense that have completely left this planet. And I get very frustrated and very angry, and I have no tolerance for just stupidness. And it really, really, really affects me.
Yeah. It's played through quite a few of your lifetimes. It's something also part probably of a lesson for you as to how to bring yourself to accept that that's okay for them to be at their level of their evolution and you be at your level of evolution. And we have to have that. We have to have that. We can't all be at the same level. So that's probably part of the lesson for you this time, is the acceptance of differences.
Yeah, I'm a minister, but I run away from it.
Yeah, I understand.
If that makes any sense.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. But you have quite a few ties to extraterrestrials.
Thank you.
It's interesting.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much.
That's amazing.
What I do. Okay.
See, this has been planned out. See, for you two coming on here tonight, this is all planned out in the cosmos of life.
Yes.
That.
Yeah, amazing. Everything I have is alien. I wear alien shirts. I have an alien hat. I have alien figures all around me. I mean, it's not just about the
even his email address is
nakedalien96@gmail.com. Everything about me is alien. Once I saw this ship in 1995, I was on an airplane. Once I saw this ship, it changed my life. It took me from being a theologian to I went from religious to spiritual, and immediately, and now I'm spiritual, because spiritual is not a belief. It's a thing. Religion is a belief, but now that I'm spiritual, it's opened up my mind to so many things, and I help so many people, and God sends so many people to me when I don't even want them, and they just sit down beside me. I'm like, oh crap, here we go again. And so I've been used to help so many people, and I'm kind of tired of it.
Hello.
But just in time, Jenny. Just in time, Jenny. We were wondering what had happened. We actually thought you'd been abducted by aliens.
I was abducted by my twin. I'm here now. Better late than never.
Always.
We've still got ages of the show left. So
okay, good.
Yeah, you know.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome.
I can't wait to talk to you more.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I love talking aliens and I love talking past lives, and it's just it's fascinating.
I'm trying to find.
So I'm a
trying to find
UFO I'm a UFO investigator. I am a ghost hunter. I'm a paranormal investigator, and I listen to stories from people. I have a website, and I listen to people's stories from all over the world, and I'm just fascinated with it. And I know that we're a matrix, and we're kind of like a game, and the moon is whatever.
I gotcha.
I need to get used to on Bald and Bonkers when the alien shows in Bald and Bonkers. I'll go get in contact, please, about that.
Need to get a full interview with you.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what we need. You know, I mean,
sure.
I've always had a fascination with the galaxy Andromeda. I don't know why. See the galaxy Andromeda. Maybe Lisa can tell me. I don't know. I've got a fascination with the galaxy Andromeda. I don't know why. Very strange.
Okay, you probably do know why.
Yeah, it must be home sweet home.
So I met Travis Walton. I met Travis Walton from the Fire in the Sky. I sit down with him. We talked for a while, and he was more interested. We didn't talk about any of his stuff. We talked all about mine, and it was just that made me feel so good because he was so blown away by my story, and that just validated everything that I'd been through.
Papa, Joey, and Uncle Tim, my name is Jenny. I'm from Ireland.
Hi, Jenny.
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah.
Just when you said Travis Walton that you were talking to him, I had interviewed Mike Heston Rogers 2 or 3 times on my show, and it was an interesting show. But I always wanted to get Travis onto my show, but
it's hard.
He won't do it. Yeah, he won't do it, and this is why I would like. I'd like to interview him too, because he was the one who was taken above. So we have to understand when, as a paranormal investigator and researcher, that we would have a lot as a researcher, as a paranormal researcher, we have a lot to show and document. But nothing, I'm not discrediting him. I'm just saying that it's a story and we want to know more. Did it really happen? Did it not happen? I know you're kind of tilting your head the way about, did it happen?
I sat across the room for him, and I saw the scars on his face where he was probed. And to look in his eyes and hear him tell the story, the brief story that he told me, you can just tell by looking at him, he's been touched. He's been affected. I mean,
he's got trauma in his eyes.
He's got total trauma in his eyes. And
I'm going to be the person on the different side of the table. I'm going to be that person and say, and it's not a debate. I'm just asking because as a, like I said, a researcher, an investigator, there's no documentation to it.
No.
Did it, we can say a lot of stories of our investigation go on, but there's no such thing as a documentation evidence, and we can all have scars of something.
Yeah,
we don't have no documentation. I'm not discrediting him. I just seen a few things that it didn't sit well with him. Now, when Mike Rogers was on my show, he was very direct. He was very clear. He was very understanding. He was very direct. And I know sometimes they get on and they don't get on sometimes, but it's just, you can have your sheep followers or you can have the people who will dissect it, which would be me and a few other people. So
yeah, I think he's angry and frustrated. So I don't think he's gonna let his true self come across to like normal people.
Normal people would be us. Normal people would be us that we would investigate the.
Well, so but at the time he didn't know that. I took a picture of his son at his school in Sholo. I was a photographer, and he saw my alien necklace. He goes, "Oh." One of the girls said, "That's Travis Walton's son." I'm like, "Oh, you got to be kidding!" So I went up and I said hi to him and everything, and I told him about my story, and he he came up to me later. He goes, my dad wanted to know if you wanted to come over and talk. And I'm like, are you kidding me? How does that happen? And so he lived in a double wide up in Sholo, and I went over and I sat down in the room, and all he wanted to know was about my story. But I think
that's for validation.
I have children that are psychotic. I have children that are I've lost 2 children to overdose, and they were schizophrenic and everything. When I look into somebody's eyes, I only need about 3 seconds to know.
Yeah.
Yes, no, this. There is no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind that he's for real.
Yeah.
In my mind. And all right, so my dad's an evangelist. He was a Pentecostal preacher, and he did he prayed and did like pray demons out of people, and he did all that stuff like that. I've seen all that stuff in church. I've seen the real stuff, and I've seen also where we go to other states or in other churches, and I see the false prophet, and I see the preachers that are there, and I see what's fake. So I kind of know the difference between real and fake. I mean, I do know, but there's no doubt in my mind that the trauma that I saw in his eyes, I mean, it's not about the scars. I got scars all over me. I don't mean to make that the tell-all, but
this
you can.
A lot of people don't believe I saw a UFO. I mean, a lot of people don't believe that.
Legit. UFOs would be legit. It's just that I get the argument between Mike and Travis. I watched a show one time, and I know YouTube is YouTube, but it was Travis sitting in the seat, and he was asked a question. It was a truth or no answer. It took him about 5 seconds to give the answer of was he abducted, and it took him about 5 seconds. And it comes to a lot of people in this field that we work really bloody hard, and we have a lot of stuff that we can documentate and we can show you. This just cannot be documented. And yet, when I was talking to Mike, and when I said to him, I showed him pictures of castles in Ireland and so on, he goes, is that supposed to be haunted? I'm like, your friend was bloody abducted by an alien, but yet you would believe that more before you believe audio that I would send you. So our documentation is not validated, but a newspaper or wording or whatever. And I'm not, like I said, I'm just here to have a conversation about it, that there's no documentation to this. But from the words of people who research paranormal, who has video and footage and audio footage, and we have the best of the best, that they're just, you're all crazy. It's not real. But this is my point. My question and my point is that why would anyone believe Mike and Travis over what happened that day in these? I think the mountain is called Snowflake Mountain or something like that. And in the area that they were in, and I it's in my mind, but it's just not coming to my head, that they have no real evidence of it.
Well, if you want to ask me about my personal experiences with UFOs or aliens or anything, I guarantee you I'm going to pause for more than 5 seconds before I answer a question. I mean, I have to decide whether or not I want to tell you what I want to tell you, or should I tell you what there's a lot I want to say to people that I just will not talk about. And I will always be that way. So the hesitation of talking about it, I think being hung up is more of a protection.
I've seen what was meant to have happened to that guy, and that'd be horrific. What?
And there's too many witnesses. There's too many. We grew up we're not far from there. We live right up there. I've been up there to where it happened, and I've talked to the locals and Sholo and Snowflake and everything. And the locals talk about the story, and they're all complete believers. And that doesn't change my mind. But there was, I don't know. I you know what? I have to go with what God puts in my heart and what God puts in my mind, because I'm a real good judge of character and a judge of people. Like I said, I can look at somebody within 3 minutes and know if they're real or fake or anything. I totally, I was a skeptic. I totally believe that this happened to this man, and that's just me. You're right. The evidence, there was evidence, but if I hadn't sat down and talked to him, I would have just said that was E.T. or is that another movie on TV. But it convinced me, and the fact that it's hard to explain, but I mean, I know
Sorry, when I was talking to Mike, sorry for interrupting you, but it was even with Mike when I said to him, like I said, he doesn't believe in the paranormal, and I said the paranormal is across the board, it's across the table. But he said he didn't believe it. And I'm like, he goes, is this whole Irish castle supposed to be haunted? And I'm like,
is a redneck from Sholo. He's a woodcutter. He's a logger. He knows nothing. He's backwoods redneck. Dumb fuck. I mean, I'm sorry. That's who he is. That's the way he was brought up. He wasn't educated.
Well, Travis was a woodcutter too. He was working with him, and Travis was the supervisor. And so he was doing the same work as Mike was doing. Mike was the supervisor. And so he was doing the same thing. And they all stopped in the car and Travis got out and, we all know what happened.
Well, I hope I'm right. If I'm wrong.
It's the thing.
I hope I'm right.
The thing is, you're never going to know what actually happened. You know what I mean? Unless you had some machine that could take you to that point and know what happened at that time. But you're going to have to go with the words of his belief. But obviously, you have to wait till there's evidence. There's no that much evidence, but it makes you. I've seen interviews with him. I have seen interviews with him, and
traumatized with something.
I feel sorry for him. I wish nobody would do that.
I've seen people that have been in the military that have experienced something horrific, right? And they've just sat there, and somebody will ask them a question, and they'll just sit there, and eventually they'll answer, and they'll only release what they've experienced or what they actually want to talk about, because you've got to remember they're remembering that happened to them. They're talking about that. They're thinking about all the bad things that's happened.
Yeah, they're protective of their experience.
Maybe one day there will be evidence comes out about it. We don't know, and that's the field really we're in. It's the same with ghost hunting. I mean, there could be a man in the house and he could say, "Oh, an apparition came through and scared the bejesus out of me like that," and then somebody will say, "Well, do you have any evidence?" And they'll be like, "No."
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same kind of thing,
So I was on an airplane, and this is the most credible sighting of a UFO in aviation history. It's called America West Case 564. I saw a UFO. We saw the ship. We saw everything. And then when we landed in Las Vegas, the FBI showed up, Men in Black showed up. They told us we didn't see anything. We did not hear anything. And I didn't talk about it for years. And finally, all of these shows have come out on A&E and sightings and all this stuff. And then Eugene Tollison, the captain that decided to go public, he died like 2 weeks later from a heart attack. But what I saw in the sky has made me think about when somebody, and I interview a lot of people that say they've been abducted and everything like this. So you can't just take it for granted. You have to listen to the story. But I don't expect a whole lot of people to believe that I saw this UFO. Now, if you look on the show and you look at NORAD and you look at Albuquerque radar and you look at the F-117 that was up there that saw all of it, there's plenty of evidence. But I don't expect anybody to believe me.
Yeah.
I really don't, because I could barely believe it myself.
Mm-hmm.
So with his evidence and with his story and with the way he told me, the way I told him, that's how I draw my opinion. And I hope I'm not wrong, but if I am, then, but I'm not wrong about what I saw. And I know people believe that I'm full of crap about what I saw, but I saw what I saw. But you got to give them the benefit of the doubt.
See, it's interesting you say that, because I seen a UFO. I seen a UFO one day, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
You guys go look up America West Case 564.
I've seen that. I've heard. I know exactly the case you're talking about. I could see a UFO. It was right in front of me, and I actually had the phone that I gave to Drew, the one that you've got, the new Drew, and I held it up, and I'm like, "What the hell's going on here?" Because when I held the phone up to take a video of it, there was nothing on the phone, but I could see it. I could see it with my eyes, and I was like, "What the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on here? What the hell's going on?" Eventually, I taken that footage, and I gave it to Dakota. Actually, would ran it through some stuff and that, and see if you change the contrast and all that, you can make it out. It's sitting there, but to the phone, it was invisible. But to my eyes, I could see it, and that is amazing. How the technology, it's as if it was like some weird thing on it. My phone wouldn't work, but my phone did work. It just didn't pick it up. Well, it did pick it up, but it didn't pick it up in a sense. And it was beautiful blue skies. And there was like when we looked back at the footage where I was standing, right above me, there was another one. It was just sitting there. It was just sitting there, right above me. And it makes me wonder, was that doing something to that phone? So as I couldn't take a picture of that.
Yeah.
But see, this happened to me, and I didn't talk about it for years because I just didn't want to tell any. I didn't want to talk about it. And Joey approached me with Keith and said, "Hey, we want to do a story on your show." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to talk about it. First of all, nobody's going to believe me. Number one. Number two, it's just going to put me in a light where I don't want to be." And that's kind of the way Travis is. He is so freaking tired and exhausted from this. He wants nothing to do with it. However, he had to, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Look at my show and tell me if you believe me, if the evidence works, and then look at his evidence, and you got to go with your gut, I guess.
We'll need to get him Jennifer Paranormal Link up to interview me and you.
Sorry,
but I do really respect you for being that.
I am very real with it.
I'm the believer, he's a skeptic, and that's what makes us rock.
I would be a little bit of both. Like, we work very hard, but we are also very realistic when it comes to debunking a lot of stuff. And I run a podcast as well here, a vodcast, and I've had many people on my show, and I have to be very realistic. And I love documentation. I like evidence. But if you cannot, you can talk about this happened to me, but I don't want to be on your show. That for me is a bit of a red flag, and that for me is a no. I know. I wanted Mike and Mike and Travis have been same show together, and they have a brotherly love. They bloody love each other, and they hate each other sometimes. But it's kind of like, if you have a true story to tell, and they've been to Australia, they've been to UK, they've been to different countries to make a movie out of this sightings and this experience, but not one bloody piece of evidence. That's what gets my bloody shit. That they don't get nice shit,
No, there's a lot of evidence.
And I'm like,
everybody was lie detector tested and everything. If you studied the story and you talk to the people that there's evidence. There's a ton of evidence.
Well, give it to me then. Give it to me. Give it to us. Give it to the people who, if there's evidence and there's somebody has been taken, is like, I've heard something last week that someone was taken by XYZ and they were taken in a spaceship Did you get a picture in the
Must have
spaceship?
visited in a spaceship.
That's not going to be possible.
Yeah, that's what she's saying.
Technology would be taken down. I get that. I'm sure that would happen.
Yeah.
But when us, that's my dog snoring in the background. But when us as paranormal researchers, and I have many people say to us, it's not happening, it's not real. And I will say that religion and that paranormal is not just ghosts. It's a table of something that is not, you can't explain it or understand it fully.
Right.
We at this stage want evidence. If Einstein worked his arse off for it, and we can't still do it to this day with the most technology that we have, we're screwed. Bloody screwed. It'll be the next people that will take it over, and then we'll be haunting them saying, it's real on the evidence.
There you go, Jenny. You'll be a ghost floating through a castle.
So, a lot of people don't believe in ghosts, but Joey and I are ghost hunters. He's a skeptic. We've been there. We've seen the evidence. It's there. So when people say I don't believe in ghosts,
yeah, but the evidence is really hard.
Bless your heart, because we've got evidence.
I mean, evidence is
for those
fleeting.
people that say they don't believe in ghosts. We have evidence.
Oh yeah.
Well, undisputable evidence.
Look, I think that we've got to remember here, right? See, with ghosts, ghost evidence is usually quite easy to capture. You've got some people going about orbs.
No, Chris, it's not that easy. No, Chris, it's not that easy to catch. It's not that easy to catch.
It's easier than the UFO stuff, because the UFO stuff that's out there is sometimes your phone doesn't work, your technology doesn't work. Sometimes they're invisible.
Location. It's the same thing. It's not that easy.
Okay, all right. So,
sorry, go ahead.
So Joey is a complete skeptic. When I first met him, he did not believe in ghosts. All right. Am I right?
Well, what it is I'm a seeker.
Yeah.
I want to believe this stuff. It's just we've done so many investigations of things where if you're a real ghost hunter, you know that you don't get that much evidence. I mean, the evidence comes
very little.
Yeah, very little. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that it's like, I don't want to put an episode together that we're not showing anything.
But
yes,
but that's evidence too.
In our experience, is your mind open now because of what we've gone through?
I mean, there's things that bring questions to my brain. Yes.
But you see, it brings questions to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
I mean, every piece of evidence just adds more questions.
Well, it does. It does. I find personally, for me, not speaking for the panel here, but for me personally, paranormal evidence is very hard and far and few in between.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. Yeah.
Because people will go through audio. Like we have ear pareidolia, we have eye pareidolia. You hear what you think you want to hear. You see what you think you see. Mm-hmm. But because you know a location, and you know there's just say a John in a location.
Yeah.
You're gonna say, John, are you here? And then you're gonna hear, oh my God, I heard a John. Then if you see someone in a room, you're going to see pareidolia. And pareidolia is what you would see in trees, you would see in the sky. It's what your eye will transport it back into your brain.
Yeah, you can make your mind see that but that's not what we
do. If you stay long enough. I'll admit there is that. And there's been times I've seen stuff like that and I've thought to myself, I've got friends that do like puzzle games, that are like mind puzzle games. They're always sending me these things, and they're like, stare at it long enough and tell me what you see. You stare at it and you stare at it.
Exactly. I agree.
Everything will just circle everything as in pareidolia. Listen to me. If everything you see, as in every picture you take, my work is done here, and I just put my pen down and I'm like retiring because I don't need to work anymore because everything is pareidolia. The clouds are pareidolia. The trees, the leaves, the wall, the mold, the mound is pareidolia. It is weathered. It's pareidolia. You get me something walking across the screen. Like I seen a picture a few days ago, yesterday actually, walking across the screen. A friend of mine in Chicago that I've worked with here in Ireland had sent on a picture, a video, and it was absolutely phenomenal. You could not make it out. That's what you're looking for. Now, I will share it if she allows me. She did open it up on her page.
I'd like to see that. That'd be good.
I'd love to see that.
I tell you now, I will mail her after this show to ask her if I can share it out. It is probably brilliant. And even I went, and I thought, brilliant. But we have to understand when it comes to investigations, if it was as easy as what you see in TV, the 12 hours we would be investigating to bring it down.
I do not watch those shows.
Oh,
I don't
these shows
believe in
are
any of those
crazy.
shows.
To bring it down, I know, but I'm just saying, like, the 12 hours that we would do, the 15 hours to do, the weekends, me and my team would go out for 2 weekends. We'd go to Leap Castle, we'd go to Redwood Castle. We would spend 2 weekends in Redwood Castle and Leap Castle. To do the work in these two castles and then to do the work that we have to do after it. Wow, I wish.
That's what people don't realise, Jenny. That there's a lot of people out there that just don't realise that this work isn't yet. So people sit down to watch, let's say, Ghost Adventures or something like that, where it's all basically 99% it's fake, and they think in an hour there's got to be demons jumping out of cupboards, there's got to be things getting chucked at you. It just doesn't work that way. There's loads of
wish someone would throw a stone at us. Throw a fucking stone. Throw a stone.
Oh my gosh.
No, just throw. Yeah, exactly, Drew. Throw something at us. Just to, well, here's like this.
You're good at it.
I was away for a weekend. I was away a weekend. Myself, my team, and fantastic family and friends were away at the weekend. The weekend just gone. We came home yesterday at a beautiful place, a tower and a farmhouse together. And it was probably the best weekend. We dressed up for Halloween. We had parties and so on. Not parties. We had, the Irish Halloween, and we had, an investigation, a wee bit of investigation. I have to say, I'm looking over audio tonight before I come on the show, and it was just the most comfortable place I've ever been in. I even slept in the tower and my own bedroom in the farmhouse by myself, which I've been panicking for a long time by sleeping in a room by myself. An investigation, but I did. Listen, I think it was a gin and tonic that just helped me sleep a lot. But it was great.
Gin and tonic makes a lot of people. You should get some of the Papa Joe.
Yeah, you got to try some of this.
Why they've got
what have you got? Papa Joe.
This is some of our own moonshine.
Moonshine. I've heard about moonshine. I've heard, is it really strong?
It's well, we've already had a little bit out of it, and you can tell that there's not that much of it.
That's a mouthful.
We're scared to drink anymore.
That's a mouthful. And us Irish people, that's a mouthful. Get yourself a little glass and take it.
Okay, we had a little bit, and we're scared to drink anymore.
You need to take some more. You need to take some more.
Before the end of the show, because we're having to get long, I was going to ask Elisa, could you give one more reading to one lucky person, either on the panel or in the chat or someday? Just one more reading, and then that'll be us for tonight.
Sure, just give me a name. Just pick somebody. You guys pick somebody. But I wanted to point how the paranormal investigation TV shows have like. I didn't even watch anymore, but just
they've diluted it.
Oh my gosh!
Ruined it.
So, and this is not pointing fingers at portals to hell, but I in the last year I've been in 3 locations that particular show has done, and they're all supposed to have demons in them, whatever. Awesome. I've been the most comfortable in all 3 of these places. We've been to the Savannah Theater, the Paulding County Jail here in Ohio, and the Biasano in Marfa, Texas. And let me tell you, they are the most comfortable places I've ever been.
Really?
Right.
Yeah, according to them, there's big demons in there.
I know.
In a jail? You felt comfortable in a jail?
In the Paulding County Jail here in Ohio, yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
It has an interesting energy to it. Is it haunted? Oh, very haunted. But I didn't feel that, they want to give you the trepidation.
Yeah.
And they're not all that way. You just, sometimes you go in and.
Yeah, exactly.
We went to,
it could be the person. It's also the person. I mean,
absolutely.
Anybody can walk in there with a camera and not get anything. But if you're the person, like she was telling me earlier that I had the past lives and everything, if you're channeling and you're open and you're connected with that things, it can be completely different from the next guy standing to you. And just because you have a camera and some sounds and everything, evidence, I don't believe all evidence. I don't. I mean, I see the evidence on all these shows and everything. I've seen our evidence and we debunk our evidence, but not all stories have evidence.
Right.
Absolutely.
We went to, so when we went to the Paulding County Jail, which was just this month, and the Savannah Theater, which was last year, we went in with 20 different psychics. So we have our online group and we meet someplace once a year and we do something fun. And so we always try to do an investigation. We took 20 psychics into both of these locations. And you want to talk about getting a place jumping. When you have 20 people go and talk to me and all of the ghosts want to talk. So you get a lot of
that's too much confusion.
Oh God, no. We have so much fun.
Really?
Oh, we have so much fun because we're going in with the same equipment. I have whole paranormal investigation equipment, but we go in it from a different perspective. I think we go in with and not that paranormal investigators aren't compassionate. I used to do paranormal investigation all the time. And now I have stepped back a little bit because I have more compassion for their situation.
Yeah.
The want to be able to help. And it can hurt the heart sometimes. But, you just, it's not confusing. It is really kind of cool to see all these energies. Here's Heather Johns. How you doing, girl? She was one actually that was on the investigation, both investigations. With me. So, it's really interesting to see. I remember when Ghost Hunters first came out, and that's how my whole psychic journey began because our 10-year-old child wanted to get the paranormal investigation equipment, and we would go out to Virginia battlegrounds at night to investigate.
Yeah.
Boy, did that open a can of worms. And what I never expected. But at that time, they would go in and debunk. And they would come out and say, there's nothing here. It was wiring. It was a fear cage. It was whatever. And now everything is paranormal.
Yeah, that's great.
So I quit watching a long time ago. But,
right. I agree.
Yeah. But having been to 3 of the locations from that particular series, I would say they're fun. But I will give you guys, so you guys are in Texas, Joey and Tim, I was at, I had a ceremony for my father at the Alamo in San Antonio last week. And we stayed at the Emily Morgan. Oh my gosh.
That's 2 blocks away from the Alamo.
No, we were on the Alamo. So there's like the Emily Morgan, a road, and then the Alamo. And we actually, by chance, had a room. We got upgraded, and our room was overlooking the Alamo.
Wow.
And I had more paranormal evidence or information come across in that one evening, and it had a lot to do with my dad being there going, thank you for dropping me at the Alamo. But we had 5 sightings in one night in the room.
Wow.
Crazy.
So it was really cool. So if you guys get a chance to do the Emily Morgan, the 9th floor, yeah, 9th floor is rocking. So
I want to try some of that moonshine. That they've made.
Yeah, I know, right? When do you start the moonshine? I'll drive down. I have no problem doing road trips.
We love road trips.
Hi, Jenny will be fine after she drinks a bottle of that moonshine. She'll be fine.
I'll stick to my Guinness and whiskey. I've heard about it. I drank it, but I've heard it was very, very, very strong.
Who's picking your name?
Paint of wood. So, Jenny, will you pick somebody for the chat to do
Not Heather Johns. I know her.
Right, not Heather Johns, but somebody else.
Sorry,
Pick somebody
Heather.
else. Let Jenny pick.
Me? I pick.
I pick somebody either
Yeah, you pick.
in the chat. I pick somebody. Pick one lucky person for a
I
reading.
pick someone for Lisa to read.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I know the pressure is unsurmountable, isn't it?
I think if Lisa feels someone that she wants to read.
Yeah, that's what
Do
I
you
said.
feel someone that you want to read, Lisa?
Just you pick somebody, it's fine.
Okay, I have this thing for let me see. Heather Johns.
Let's not do Heather Johns.
Really done Heather.
I know Heather.
Okay, then we're not going to do Heather. Sorry, Heather, but I just had this kind of like thing for
Like Heather, you don't get a read.
Okay, so let me go back up. Geez, I've never been asked this question on the spot before.
Just go up and pick one random person. Just go up and.
Okay, I'm going to go with Wesley. Let's do Wesley Broadus. Yeah.
Are you still here, Wesley?
Wesley, are you still here?
You're still here, Wesley? Right in the room if you're here, Wesley.
Oh, Wesley saying me, and I didn't see that just now.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Heather.
Heather's like,
I don't think Wesley's here.
Hey, and
okay, so I think. Oh, do you know Super Horror? Don't know who they are.
Right, let's do.
We do. That's Mike and Amanda.
Right, I'll bring Super Horror.
Okay, so let's just.
Okay, gotcha. The first thing I want to talk about is I feel the need to once again talk. I want to sing. I want to get loud. I want to have a lot of conversation. So whoever is at the other end of, and you said Mike and Amanda, there's a huge influx of conversation. Throat chakra. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Throat chakra is way active, where you just want to like la and just talk. So many stories. But I also feel like people feed stories to these people as well. Like they are given stories and they share them back out. So I wonder if they do some kind of, and I don't know them, but I wonder if they have some kind of series set up, or if they are doing podcasts or anything like that, if they're going to be setting something like that up, because their throat chakra.
Absolutely do that.
Okay, so when they're quiet, they're really quiet and they're thinking. But when there is moving, when there's something to be said, or when they go live or whatever, it is, hi, welcome to New York. And they have their radio voice, which is really awesome. So it's also a case where you would not, they have this person has a sedate side where they can sit back and just observe. And that is when they are at their peak of like brain function. I know that when we think we're out there, we're talking online and we're doing all these other things, that's when we're doing the most. But when they're processing all the things they want to put together, they have a very deep process about how this is going to relate to somebody that is going to be listening to them and emotionally invest them into the story. So they're a good storyteller. I want to talk about, I also want to talk about guardian angels. I want to talk about, I get this feeling every once in a while. I'll get this feeling right here where I have guides go like this. And I know that means somebody is being protected on a very, very high archangel level, probably Michael, with missteps. So if somebody is accident prone, they're very, very closely followed. That's so funny. By angels, and also guardian angels are in here as well, because you guys know what I'm talking about when I talk about the cartoon where the vultures go bottom, bottom. There's three of them that go down the road. That's how I feel like this person's guardian angels follow them. Like, oh Lord, here we go again. We're on something stupid. Let's make sure we're following pretty close. There's also a degree of healing going on as well. I get Archangel Raphael coming in going, there's some things that have to be worked on, and some maybe hurt feelings or something along those lines. If they're very plain talking people. So if they have something they want you to know, they're going to say it. But they internalize a lot of different things that you wouldn't think hurts their feelings. So that's a big deal. Be a little bit aware that some feelings could get hurt very easily. Not going to talk about it though. Not going to talk about it. Going to keep it right here. And I want to talk about an older gentleman that has passed away that I don't know why he's missing quite a few hair up on top here, but he's kind of pointing off to the sky and going, "Did you see that?" And I'm not talking about aliens. I'm not talking about aliens. It's I want to be clear about that. I'm not talking about aliens. It's almost as if there was some new piece of technology that he got to witness. So I'm going to say this is somebody that was probably a great-grandfather, not a grandfather. And I just lost my pen. What shall I fidget with now? So I'm talking myself focused. So I just need them to know they may not know who I'm talking about, but I just need them to know that person kind of stands over their shoulder and watches technology go by. They're fascinated with technology, and when they hear a buzz in their ear, that would be that person going, "Oh my gosh, did you just click that button and make things happen? That was so cool." This person actually used a old camera, like an old Canon kind of camera where you had to adjust everything. So they're fascinated with some of this new technology that goes on. Pretty good.
That's a wow. I'd like you, before we leave this live, and I know, Chris, you have to go and Drew has to go, but even Lisa, if I could ask of you to do a wee bit of a reading of me.
Sure.
If you can get it, that would be
absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely. I already got you. You're good. We're good.
I'm this bloody horrible skeptical person. I'm a believer, but I'm skeptical, and I just need to.
It's okay. Me too.
Okay. Thank you.
So I want to talk about the high pitch that you have going on in your brain.
Let me just turn my page over and have my pen so I can write it all down. Hold on. I've got a lot of pages that I have written on. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. No, okay. Now we do this.
Ready? I talk fast.
No,
I'm
sorry. Once I get going, it's gone.
I want to
talk about the high pitch that you have going on in your brain all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if you've been given the label of ADD or ADHD, something along those lines. I also feel like you try to keep your hands busy. You're always busy. You're always trying to move forward. You're always trying to find something new to keep your brain busy. Because when you're sedate and you have to stop and you're like, oh shit, now what do I do? Like, what do I do now? I don't have a job. So that's really hard for you. You want to make sure you're moving all the time. It keeps your brain engaged and makes you feel young also, by the way. That's important for you to be able to feel like you are being productive. And that has been drummed into you over time. So that's also a learning thing from parentage as well. I want to talk about your relationship with money. I want to talk about how money is something that we have to work hard for and we have to bring in, right? So you need to change the way you're thinking about that a little bit, because if you're thinking about it like that, you're making it harder to bring in. So when you feel as if you're struggling, you have to sit back and go, oh, why am I struggling? Because here's the problem. You're a master manifester. You're a master.
Is there a box?
Yeah.
No, there's no box.
Should be a white box right there.
You guys didn't mute.
You didn't mute your mic. I'll mute him.
Yeah, Mike.
So when you're a master manifester, so when it comes to not just money in life, all sorts of things, it's hard. Love is hard. Money's hard. Work is hard. Owning a home is hard. Bills are hard. Raising children is hard. All these things are hard. So you're putting blocks down in front of yourself on a pretty consistent basis, because your thoughts, when you put them out there, they're a thing. They're a thing. It's because you have that high pitched, I've got to get stuff done.
Yeah.
You have an animal totem that is, what is that thing? A bogo. What in the heck? I want to write. See, I want to write. That's why I have my pen. I write when I do this. It is a deer type of animal. That
animal totem. Yeah, that would make sense.
Okay, it bounces and it makes a funny noise, and they keep coming back to the funny noise for you. I also have to say that the when I have an animal totem come across, it's because some of the traits are relevant to the person that I'm reading. That's the reason they come across, is they help people navigate these things. And you are one of those people that go, oh, over here, over here, over here, over here. And you expect everybody to keep up with you. If they don't keep up with you, there is a problem.
This is good.
What's going on? You don't hear me?
It's infuriating and angering, and you can't understand why.
It's kind of like
they can't do it.
Well, yeah, I've said that. I said that before when I said, say I said to my daughter one time, I said, can you help me do this? And I would say, I remember saying to them, like, I'm 3 seconds ahead of you. Why are you not beside me? Come on, I'm 3 seconds ahead of you.
I hate going shopping with you
That's
too.
a funny thing that you would say that I'm 3 seconds ahead of someone.
Yeah, people go shopping with you and you're like, oh my gosh, did you see this? And you're like, I saw that 5 minutes ago. Why are you doing that to me now? I'm already three aisles down. You know,
I hate shopping, but I'm like, kind of like, you have to be 3 seconds with me, in front of me, but not behind me.
Yeah, you got to keep moving. You know.
Yeah. I'm ready. Let's go. I'm done.
So I want to also talk about your energy as a leader. You very, very rarely set your feet on the ground, so it's very difficult for people to keep up with you. So you have to make sure that you're not getting pissed off at the people that are a little bit slower, because not everybody's brain works the way your brain works. Okay, and here's the thing: why not? You mean it? I don't get it. You know, that kind of thing. So you have to be able to scale back and say, okay, I have to come at this from a different angle, because if I don't, everybody's going to flee the ship like rats when it's sinking. I
think my brain, Lisa, has gone very relaxed. I think I used to be like very like, come on, what's keeping you? Come on, I want to do this, I want to do that. But I think recently, in the last year, with my team that I now have, my brain can relax more, because I know. Maybe it's not. I'm thinking about my team all the time. Maybe in my home or in what I want to do in life. It's kind of like, come on, answer the phone, do this, do that. Maybe I'm just thinking team wise all the time, and that's my problem sometimes, that I think team all the time. And I don't have to think that, because I know my team is always ahead of me, if not, they're beside me, if not ahead of me. So I think it's just basically life, kind of wake up, answer the phone. You say you don't answer the phone until 9 o'clock, I'm ringing you at 5 to 9. Answer the phone. Come on, answer the phone, kind of thing. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of in a
very, very fast energy, a very fast thought process. And
I'm in a rush.
I don't think you breathe all the way down into your gut. I think you breathe kind of shallowly, and that's common. It's so common. People don't breathe the way they should. But for you, it'd be very important to just sit outside, put your feet in the grass, and chill the hell out. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
It's an important thing. And what is it about a necklace? Are you missing a necklace, or do you wear a special necklace? No necklace? Do you have one that's been handed? It's a ring? Okay. But is there something else that's been handed to you over time that is in a box someplace? A necklace in a box? It looks like it has a super fine chain.
No, not for now. No.
Okay.
Not for now, no.
I don't feel like it's the ring. So I could blow smoke up your wazoo and tell you it's not the ring.
Do it if you want to.
Whoops.
That's it. That's what I got.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. It was helpful. It was insightful. So thank you. It helped a lot. Yeah.
It's just your guides saying, hey, life is fleeting and it goes pretty quickly anyways, so don't speed it up. So.
And would my spirit guide ever would be offended if I ever say, shove your opinions up your ass? Because sometimes not always helping me. You know, I'm going to be real about it. I'm not being rude about it. I'm being rude about it by saying sometimes, I know they're saying it just came out of a shock out of the blue, but sometimes they're trying to guide me. And sometimes, like, just being, not even being Irish, but being human. If you're trying to guide me, like, bloody guide me and be at my front door and help me, kind of thing. I know I said that really fast, didn't I? And it kind of like, shove your opinions up your ass.
So in other words, be more direct and to the point, let you know what you need right now so you can keep
I did a whole angel fairy wings and drop a fairy feather at my door. Just kind of come to my fucking room and just say, I'm trying to guide you.
Do you remember the reading I just gave you?
We're not doing it. Well, I'm Irish. I'm direct.
I'm sorry for the angel now. He's probably standing there in the corner of his head.
Angels are Irish.
Here's the thing. Spirit guides are there to be of assistance to not do the job for you. If they were to hand it all to you on a silver platter, yes, you have to put the puzzle pieces together.
What happens if you don't understand how to read? And I know I got very tell me what to frickin' do. But sometimes we don't understand how to read these signs sometimes. We see a feather and a feather dropped in front of me and I'm like, oh, it's a seagull in the sky that just flew by me.
Did you see that bird shit? No.
Again?
No, here's the thing. Yes, they can drop things in front of us just to get our attention. But if you're actually looking for guidance and you want concrete guidance, what you do is you ask for specifics. Don't ask for a seagull to get shot out of the sky and there'll be feathers everywhere. So I'm going to tell you a real quick story on how this works with my guides. And this is Archangel Metatron come in. We call this 2x4 therapy. He came in one day and said, I want you to go live. I was terrified to be in front of a camera. I wouldn't do it. And he came in my twilight right before I woke up and gave me you're going to do this. And I went, no, I don't think so. And I said, I'll tell you what, you show me this particular scene from Bewitched, the program, and I will consider going live. I'll go live. And he went, game on. And I went, I ain't going nowhere today. So good luck with that. And I don't watch television. So I don't know what you're going to do, but whatever. So about 2 hours later, my friend calls me and she's like, hey, you want to go shopping at the retro store? And I'm like, all in, let's do it. So I jump in the car and I'm cashing out, and what the hell is over top of that cash register but the exact same image that he gave me, and I with the frying pan and the black cat and Samantha standing in front of the stove. And I'm like, well, crap. You have to be specific. If you're specific, no refuting it. But if you're expecting to see feathers with no message, then you're still searching for the message. So you have to be pinpoint on, I want to know what am I searching for, and give them an option. Say, I'm going to tell me if this is what it is today and show me that. And you'd be surprised at how well it works.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to try that. I'm going to work on it, trying it, hopefully.
Yeah. Since you're a master manifestor, hey, there you go.
I keep asking for the lottery numbers every night, but they don't give me it.
They don't work that way. You have to ask the universe for a large sum of cash, but not give it directions.
I won the world lottery. I'll be nice to these guys. I'll buy them something nice. Just give me all the money.
I just keep showing appreciation to just being here every day, and I find that things come into your life. You don't have to ask.
Look, all I want is a private jet, a private yacht, my own island, a castle, and a couple of $1 billion. I mean, what's hard to ask for?
He doesn't want much.
And a couple of Bentleys. You know what I mean? But I would just like to say, we'll talk to you all behind the scenes after we close the show down. I would just like to say for everybody that came tonight, thank you very much for coming. Guys, I've shared your links out in the chat. All your links will be added to the video once it's uploaded. Everybody that's in the chat, thank you very much. And have a spooky week, and remember to check out everybody's channels, for, the sampling of the moonshine.
Or the moon.
It'll be like Jekyll. It'll be like Jekyll and Hyde. You'll take a swig.
I've heard people talk about the moonshine, but I've never seen it to even try it. The moonshine. I've heard it was really strong. Like,
I think it must be like the Irish.
It's like Jameson on steroids.
Oh, the Lord. Okay.
Say something you can relate to.
I like the old Jameson, but with stars on top. Listen, I will try it out if I have to. You know, just bring the stomach.
Takes paint off the doors, Days. Takes paint off the doors, too. So there you go. Catch you later, everybody. I'll talk to you all behind the scenes.
Thank you for having us on. Happy Halloween.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for joining us on this exciting adventure with Ghost Squad Scotland. Our team of experienced ghost hunters use the latest technology to explore the paranormal and uncover the truth about the unknown. Don't forget that we're affiliated with Spirit Shack, the UK's premier ghost hunting equipment store, so you can trust our equipment to be top-notch. Plus, we have exclusive Ghost Squad Scotland merch available on our Zazzle store, so you can show your support for the team in style. And if you can't get enough of our ghost hunting adventures, be sure to tune into the Bald and Bonkers TV network to catch our show in action. Content creators can even have their own content syndicated on the network, or create their own custom online TV channel by visiting baldandbonkers.net. Thank you for your support. And remember to always keep an open mind as we continue to explore the mysteries of the paranormal with Ghost Squad Scotland.